Today is Saturday, February 17th, 2024. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our Judge a Book by its cover show, Part 1, or JABBIC, as we like to call it, for Survivor 46.
Grilling up some new castaways. It's the preseason. Season 46 will begin on February 28th. But before that happens, we scan the bios, we look at the pictures, we make assumptions, read into it.
Big assumptions.
Make up stories in our heads about how they'll play the game. It's all in an attempt to get familiar with the new castaways.
Learn at least a little something about them, be able to recognize them, and know their names a little before the show starts.
Yes. Yeah, it's all about
helpful.
that.
It's very helpful.
It is. It is not even remotely accurate given historical data. We can almost guarantee that we will be dramatically wrong given our previous picks, huh?
But hey, it's just our
So we start
humble opinion.
We start with Joanne and I trying to suss out how we think they'll play, how successful they'll be. Who's going to make the merge, who's not going to make the merge, and then that final four, who do we think's our winner at this point, given the tiny, limited amount. There's videos on Paramount Plus that you can watch. There's a few, like 3 or 4 videos on Entertainment Weekly, maybe one on Parade.com, and then there's written interviews on Parade. So we've been scanning through those, trying to get a sense of who these folks are, how they might play, how they might react to the incredibly intense game that is Survivor, even in its budget-friendly version that we have today.
I actually went from last night. I had someone in mind that I was actually considering for a possible USB, which is
Ultimate Survivor bonus, who we think will
win the overall season. And today I have her as first out.
It just takes one little bit of knowledge. And then
so from late last night to this morning.
You can do a complete about face on someone, huh?
Oh, totally.
You'll read something or hear them say something, you're like, really? That's what you think?
I can. I don't know about other people, but I flip just that quickly.
Yep. Absolutely. I like to look at things like who are they scoping out pregame? What's their read on people and stuff like that? And then who's their all-time favorite survivor? Who do they think they'll play most like? And if they say someone just that strikes me as odd or indicates to me that they're ill-informed, that will have a huge sway on my read on their
it's
success.
Like us, they're only going off what we're looking at is their opinions, just seeing the people. They haven't even spoken to them.
Right. They don't get to talk.
So that's just from watching them around.
Yeah.
And they haven't spoken to each other.
Mike Bloom's Parade interviews are really good because he usually makes sure to ask them who you're getting good vibes from, who's got you worried.
He's good with that.
Yeah, so those questions are there.
I still have more of those to do, but so who knows, may change my mind all over again.
Guarantee we will, as that has always been the case. So we start with our view. That's part 1 of JABBIC. Part 2, which we'll talk about again when we get to the end of this, is where we hand it over to the other super fans here at Survivor Fans Podcast and get their read on how they think people are going to play, who's going to be the winner, who's first out.
And then we'll look at, that person at all.
Then we'll really start trying to figure out how to make our picks for the fantasy league that we run here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, let's. We got Paul's roster up on the screen.
Yay, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. And we're going to go tribe by tribe. So we've got the first tribe, the Nami tribe. What color is that? Orange? Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it.
Okay, we're going with orange for that tribe. First up, we got Hunter. What can you tell us about Hunter?
He's from Mississippi. He's a science teacher. He gave up going to medical school. He had a full ride to medical school, and he went home and substitute teaching for his sister, and decided, this is what I want to do.
I've had enough of this studying thing.
Yeah.
let me try my hand at teaching for a bit.
Well, and the idea of just seeing sick children or people that are sick, and or getting to really work with them and maybe even change their lives, because I think this school is a school for children who have had it rough, and they.
Yeah, plus he said it was a boarding school, so
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of time there.
So I think he can have a bigger influence there. So it's like, okay.
I don't know, that was an interesting story, but yeah. When you look at the overall, is there anything else you want to say about his bio?
Oh yeah, he one of his hobbies is building survivor challenges, and he works with the kids at school doing
He basically
survivor challenges.
runs survivor games for the kids
for
at the school.
kids.
He said he bought a CNC machine back during the pandemic, and then started building actual large physical versions of the puzzles and different games for them to do. He was even putting up a $1,000 award prize.
Yeah.
But then he said the school got worried and questioned him about that. So, anyway.
Okay, he says he is clever, competitive, and adamant. Okay, the adamant part bothers me a little bit. His friends would describe him as competitive, a bit odd, intelligent, quick-witted, maybe a little arrogant, fun, and hardworking. The risks he's taken is, again, letting go of his full-ride scholarship and
pivoting to be a teacher.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to mention?
No, not really.
He's like super proud of himself for maintaining a 4.0 GPA in college, and he graduated in 3.5 years.
Well,
and
that's
so
impressive.
I looked at all that and I thought, oh yeah, I can totally see why you didn't want to go to med school. You burned out.
Yeah.
I just thought there's a different version of your story here that I'm reading in this short little bio.
But
it's not the spin you want to present.
You actually just did that recently with a certification, and so you can really relate to the feeling of being burned out.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's probably why I identified that is another version of his story. It's not the one he's spinning out, not the one that he presented to them that helped him get cast, but yeah.
Well, he doesn't want to let the other players know that he's smart, and he's not going to tell them that, anything about med school or any of that, and he's not absolutely going to tell them that he builds challenges or any of that kind of stuff. But he said he did have puzzles at home like Carson did. He had some that he had been practicing, and I think I'll really like his gameplay as long as he doesn't show the arrogance and clash with anyone. I definitely have him make him merge, and I kind of put him in my final four just because I really want to like him because he's a fan and he does this stuff. And so I even considered him as a USB, but I think I'm going a different direction.
Yeah, I've got him making the merge for sure. I think that's actually, for the guys, that's the physically strongest, most physically fit tribe that Hunter's on there. We'll talk more as we go through here, but that was my initial read. Too. He spotted Q, who's in the Yanu tribe, because Q had a Mississippi tattoo. Oh, yeah. It turns out Q spotted him too because he recognized a cap that Hunter had on, I think. Anyway, so he was hoping for an alliance with Q at some point. He was hoping they could help protect each other.
The Mississippi boys.
Yep.
All right. Anything else about Hunter?
No.
All right, moving on to Liz. She's 35. Oh, I forgot to say Hunter was 28, but Liz is 35. She's from Orlando, and she's a marketing strategist. Her hobbies are running, telling jokes, and making money.
Okay, that's a hobby. I think we know that as a job normally, but okay.
Okay.
What else?
Her friends tell her that her drive is very inspiring. She's very proud of the fact that she's able to make her own money, and she's very proud of that.
So this is Aubrey Bracco clone number 1. For some reason, they cast 2 Aubrey clones. They just were desperate to have more Aubrey lookalikes in the show. She's got an 8-year-old daughter that challenged her to be on the show. That's kind of the reason that she's here.
Yeah.
She said when she put her application in, she got an email response back in 10 minutes. She was on the phone with them within 3 hours, and then 10 days later, she was talking to Jeff. She's here for an adventure, which usually doesn't bode well as someone who will...
You called her a mom on vacation.
No, not her.
You didn't?
Nope. I was talking about somebody else when I said that.
Oh, okay.
She is allergic to fruit. That's also, I don't know, is coconut technically a fruit? Anyway, she's allergic to coconut. She's allergic to chicken.
Wow.
She can eat fish, so she's really hoping that she'll be able to catch fish. She brought a specific shirt with long sleeves that she's hoping she can tie together to somehow make a net, and then she'll coax one of her tribe mates into shooing the fish towards her so that she can catch them, and she'll be a provider that way. She actually has got a master's in leadership. She declares herself as a huge fan of Will Smith, which seems like an odd thing to go out there on right now, given everything that's happened with him, but it is what it is.
She also, I thought it was interesting, she said she was mute until the age of 7, that she had a crazy nervous tic and would hyperventilate from nerves, and now she's a public speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And she said you would never know that she had all that at a young age.
Right. Overcome that. Yeah. That's cool. So I got no merge for Liz.
That's funny. I put no merge too. She said she won't tell people what to do, but she'll just get things done. And that she's very self-confident, and she seems smart, and I thought she could go deep in the game, but her video really changed my mind about that. I was seeing her very different, and then I watched the video, and then it was no merge.
She looks like Aubrey, but she ain't Aubrey. Yeah, and she's here for an adventure. These folks lose their will to finish, to make it to the end relatively quickly.
Well, and especially it's going to hit her even harder being allergic to
so much.
A lot of things.
Yeah, I don't even know why you would go out there. I mean, you go out for a shot at $1 million, but that just does not seem like it's in your best interest.
I think she mostly went out there because her daughter challenged her.
Yeah, and she wanted to be an example.
You're going to talk about it or you're going to do it?
Yeah, be an example to her daughter, so that's sweet. Okay, anything else you want to say about Liz?
Nope.
Next up, we got Randon. What do you got on Randon?
He's 41 from Orlando. His hobbies are running endurance marathons, and he likes extreme rides and sports. He says he's analytical, persistent, and passionate. His friends would describe him as relentless.
He said he would most play the game like Xander. I hope not, dude. I really hope not.
Well, me too, because something about him, I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was in his video. I thought he was funny. His family, his daughter's going to throw a party because she's certain he's going to be first out.
Yeah, his daughter thinks he's first out, and his wife says, no merge for you.
Oh, you won't make the merge. They don't think he has good people skills.
That's his motivation.
So he's kind of there to prove them wrong, too, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Because they don't think he can make it at all.
Big runner. I guess he swam competitively, too.
They're like, you're more likely to kill the chicken. And, it's like, well, that's not a bad thing on Survivor, actually. So,
Thought Carolyn played the best game in season 44. So, all right, I think less of you there. That just means you're easily fooled. And he thinks Maria from the Sega tribe is already out to get him. But he wasn't the only one that got bad vibes from her. So that'll be interesting. Anything else on Randon?
No, other than I put him in my Final Four just because I wanted to cheer for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I considered him again for my USB, but like I said, I went with someone else.
Yeah, I also have him in my Final Four.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I just liked him. I'm kind of choosing people that I think I like and that I think he could play a good game if he can, if he's as funny as he was in his video. To me, he was funny.
Yeah.
And seemed to have a good sense of humor about his family, thinking he couldn't do it.
He's significantly older than everyone else in the tribe at 41. So,
but that's not really old for a guy, and he seems to be in decent shape.
Yeah.
Well, it's not old for anyone, but you know what I mean.
Relatively
he seems
speaking.
physically fit, and
yeah.
I don't think it starts hitting you as much with the physicality until you get closer to your 50s.
I think you get some wake-up calls in your 40s. That was my experience, at least.
Yeah.
You notice that you're just not bouncing back as quick.
Yeah, that's true.
But he says he's still doing the
who can remember
endurance
40s?
Things. Yeah, it's a while ago, huh? Anything else?
Nope, I got him making the merge.
Okay, me too. He's in our Final Four.
So far, we're both tracking the same.
I bet it'll deviate.
That's unusual.
Next up, we got Soda. What do you got on Soda?
She's 27. She's from Long Island, but she's now living in New Jersey. She is a special ed teacher, loves her job. Her hobbies are singing, taking walks, and doing random crafts. So that makes me think that she's not as physically fit.
Well, just by her appearance, she's going to be challenged. She's carrying some significant weight.
Which isn't a bad thing, always out playing Survivor.
In a hot, humid climate with just intense physical exertion coming your way. I mean, she talked about how Carla had, impressed her so much, and definitely Carla, but I think Soda's carrying more weight than Carla was. I just think Soda's going to have a hard time with the physical elements. And she was going on and on about food, and the game hadn't started. She's like obsessed with
I know, she's
spaghetti.
Already talking about wanting to have the auction and get food. And that was one thing we both picked up on. It's like, the game hasn't even started yet. You're still eating, and you're already obsessing about the food. That's not a good sign. Anyway, her friends tell her that she's silly and anxious at times, but they bear with me, she says.
Okay, building on that, she states that she is deathly afraid of, wait for it, butterflies.
Oh, yeah.
She says, I cannot even be in the same field as one, and I can sense when anything small, soft, and winged is nearby. Wow, your first night on the beach is going to be quite the adventure.
Yeah.
I don't know about a butterfly, but I bet she'll get some moths. Poor Soda. She's new to Survivor. She hadn't been into it that long. I suspect she's a recruit.
She says she'll try to hide how really smart she is. She doesn't want people to know that. But I don't think she's prepared herself to play Survivor. I'm not sure she knows what she's getting into.
Oh, she has just vastly underestimated the impact this is going to have on her.
It looked like from some of the photos you could see her working around camp, and if she can contribute in the challenges, if she's good at puzzles or those kinds of things, then I could see that she could hang around for a while. But I think she's probably the physically weakest player on that tribe, so I put no merge.
No merge for me, too. On the plus side, she was vibing pregame with Liz and Tevin. She had picked out both of them as people she could work with, and, hey, they're on her tribe.
That's right. So you never know.
Yeah.
If they make an alliance.
If it works out, that's 3. You only need one more, and you've got the controlling majority of your tribe.
That's true, and New Age doesn't always go on physicality. So.
Right.
Okay, up next, Tevin. He's 24, from Virginia, and he's an actor. He lists his hobbies as going to the beach, listening to music, and fashion and shopping.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks physical, like he could.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't list anything that makes me think that he is.
Right.
He says he's kind, charismatic, and optimistic.
He's the most charismatic person in the cast this season, from what I can see.
I think they're either going to love him or he's going to annoy him.
Yeah, it'll get old quick.
It'll be one or the other, probably. But I kind of think they're going to like him.
It'll really depend on his ability to read the room.
Yeah.
And can he be okay with not always being the center of attention? Because he's got that me, all eyes on me kind of vibe really hard. Speaking of vibes, he said he was pregame, getting some good pregame vibes from Liz, and she with him. And he's a huge Carolyn fan, so he's got that in common with Randon. He's going to hide that he's an actor and present himself as a singer.
And something you wouldn't think about him, he says he's a country boy at heart, and he doesn't think he's too good to get a little messy.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Those are words. I definitely did not get that impression, so he's spot on. That is not something I would have thought.
Well, but he might be able to give you whatever impression he wants you to have, too.
He's an actor.
That's right.
He just looks very he looks very squared away, very very snappy. It doesn't seem like a hands in the dirt kind of guy.
And he's not going to tell him he's an actor, though. He's going to tell him he's a singer, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got him making the merge. I think he'll be a valuable player there.
In spite of what he listed for hobbies, I do think that he will probably be good in challenges, and he's tall, he can reach things. And so I definitely have him making the merge.
They appear to have 3 healthy, I'm emphasizing that because that's going to come up later on.
Yeah.
Healthy, fit guys on this tribe.
Well, and I think Liz is in pretty good physical shape. She's small.
We'll see. Well, I don't think she's as small as Venus.
Yeah, but Venus is tall.
Yeah.
And, she's physically fit. She probably won't eat a lot. And the guys will like that because they'll just get more. So.
Venus does look like a bird.
And she's pretty. And I think she's, I guess we're talking about Venus now.
Yeah.
I think she's
You got Tevin
smart.
making the merge?
I do have Tevin making the merge.
Okay.
Venus is 24. She's from Ontario, and she's a
data
analyst.
This is the Canadian.
Analyst.
Watch out, everyone.
That's right.
This is a Canadian. So I'm really happy they're only letting like one in at a time because they're so proficient at the game.
Okay. She says that her hobbies are playing poker, creative writing, and making short films. She said it's going to sound weird, but one of her hobbies is cleaning. She likes cleaning. So how's that going to affect her out there? If she says she is a clean freak. So that's
she is yet another one that's very new to Survivor. I'm thinking a recruit possibly, and several people. I thought in my notes I put she's got a pregame vibe on Hunter potentially because she described someone as Honest Abe, and I thought, okay, well maybe he's got an Abe Lincoln vibe. But as it turns out, there was probably half of the cast was having this big interaction with an alternate that didn't end up getting cast. And he gets mentioned over and over again, some tall, dark, curly-haired guy with a magnificent beard. And he keeps coming up in the questions about who are you vibing with.
Well, he'll be coming back because everybody's going to be going, hey, who is that guy? Get him back on here. Now we want to know more about him.
Yeah.
But
I think that's who she was. I don't think it was Hunter after all. So I think it was probably this other guy who didn't make it on.
She talks like she came to play and that she'll do anything she needs to do. And she expects and even hopes that she'll be underestimated for her looks because she is small. But she says she has a strong will and is very persuasive. And she can get people to do things. And she's willing to do anything to win.
Yeah, she listed her occupation as a data analyst, but she also mentioned in the interview that she was interested in pivoting to immigration law. So that's going to give her something in common with some other folks in the cast, not necessarily on her tribe.
Well, my thought is if she gets in a good alliance with Hunter and Randon and whoever else on that tribe, that she could be an under-the-radar player and could go deep. I have her in my Final Four and, of course, making the merge.
I don't know about her being under the radar because a lot of people, I think, highlighted her because of her physical appearance.
Yeah.
And she's very physically attractive, and so she got featured several times in people's perspectives for that. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, she might.
Well, I mean, under the radar as not being viewed as a threat.
Possibly, yeah. She is on the younger spectrum for that type of person that disappears at the merge and then emerges with the win at the end. So she's on the younger side of that age spectrum. It's possible. She's hoping that. Her nationality's Persian, Iran, and she's hoping to be the first Persian winner of the game. So,
well, that's kind of why I put her in my Final Four.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about the Nami tribe? How do you think they're going to do overall?
I actually think they might be the strongest tribe right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Soda can do puzzles, maybe she can extend her time in the game that way. So we'll see.
Well, that's what I was hoping. She talks about she's very smart, and so maybe she's prepared for different things. And like I said, I saw her working around camp, and sometimes that's all it takes to keep somebody in a game. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll handle the more physical things, and you do work around camp that I don't have to do, and
solve those puzzles.
You're golden.
Yeah.
So, okay, how are we pronouncing is it
Siga?
Siga? That's
my
what
guess.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Saiga. We'll go with Siga. I like the sound of that better. That's the Green Tribe. And first up, we have Ben. He's 31. He's from Miami, and he's a musician and a teacher.
Music teacher. He teaches guitar.
Yep.
This is our Sifu clone.
Okay, if you say so. But he said his friends would describe him as emotional and a passionate person who's just trying to live life and have a good time.
Right.
And I thought, but he talked about how his emotions were always on his sleeve. And I thought, that doesn't typically serve people well in the game.
He's doing the same stuff Sifu was doing, too, in his pregame interviews where he's all out there. He's all about the rock, and he's making up songs, and he's loud, and, his energy's like way out front kind of stuff. So,
well, he says he thinks he's more emotionally intelligent than most people give him credit for, and that he thinks he can read a room and find awareness in most situations while still carrying on and being his regular goofy, fun self.
In contrast to that, he was one, I think he might have been the only one that he wasn't really vibing with anyone pregame, wasn't connecting in the silent part of the game at all. And I don't know that he's got skills like that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I have him making the merge just because of his strength. I'm assuming he'll be able to do challenges, and since he loves being on the beach and this and that, maybe he can fish and be a provider or something.
Yeah, I think he said he was swimming. He was training in Miami there before heading out, but he doesn't strike me as a physical presence.
No, not necessarily.
He seems kind of slight, like a classic rock kind of rock star kind of person.
Yeah.
It's not about physicality for him.
Well, the only reason I put him as making the merge is I have two of the women on this tribe not making the merge.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, okay, I've already chose two people, but he would be my third choice to go before
I have him not making the merge.
The other three, really?
Yep, no merge for Ben. I just got that same Sifu read. I'm like, yeah, that person's not going to click.
All right. Well, we differ on something. Yay.
Anything else you want to say about Ben?
Nope. Charlie, he's 26, though he looks younger to me.
Yeah.
He's from Boston. He's a law student.
Also interested in immigration law.
He is a serious competitive runner.
Yep, he's got that in common with Randon.
And he likes debating, and and board games. So he might have some skills with puzzles and that kind of stuff as well.
Possibly.
As long as he doesn't like to debate with everyone about everything, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But he says he's a loyal, funny, fun-loving, competitive person.
Not going to mention he's going to Harvard.
Yep.
Not going to mention the law degree. We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's the smart decision in the game of Survivor. To most people, they hear, lawyer, they think, oh, they're not as trustworthy, or they don't need the money. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, we had 3 lawyers last time, huh?
Yep.
Started watching with Winners at War. That's an interesting introduction to Survivor.
True.
Yeah. Work backwards from the winners. I think he mentioned a Norwegian, Scandinavian kind of guy that he was picking up good vibes on. I think that's Hunter. I don't know for sure. Now with the confusion with the alternates being there, I'm not 100% on trying to suss out who they're referring to, but that could fit that.
And he's one of the 2 big Swiftie fans.
That's true. He made a big point of that, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. If there's anyone on the cast that I had to guess was a big Swiftie fan, I would have guessed Charlie.
Yeah. He's
got
was
that look about him.
Yeah, he had, certain songs will be in my head, that
Well, you say he could
sings.
name any song within 3 beats, I think.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be able to use that to his advantage other than potentially connecting with Jelinski about it.
Yeah, okay. I actually like Charlie, and he's obviously smart and very physically fit. So I think he'll get along with a lot of his tribe, and I put definite merge for him.
I got him making the merge when I saw him in the tribe, when he's standing
he's
with
the
his
tallest
tribe.
one.
Yeah, he's the big guy on their tribe, which I didn't expect that to be the case. Just from his picture on the roster, I thought, oh yeah, he's a little guy. Charlie even sounds like a little guy.
Nope.
But that is not the case, at least compared to Tim and Ben.
That's funny, the things that are in our head.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie sounds like, okay. All right, next up we have Jim. She's 32. She's originally from Guyana, and she's currently living in Chicago. She says she's an international brand mentor.
Okay, so the reality of that is that she manages 2 retail lingerie stores, and she's been asked to go talk, I think she said in Israel, to give some talks about the brand. So she labeled herself. This is what you do when you're in casting. You puff up whatever it is that you are or you do, or some aspects
or they
of your
puff
life,
it up for you.
Life story. Yeah.
If you don't puff it up enough,
international brand mentor. I think big ideas about a brand, and then I share them. Anyway, she's another pandemic fan.
Her hobbies are binge TV, working out, and driving. Okay.
Says she can climb a coconut tree, but she has no plans to be a provider unless she absolutely, positively has to.
But that she's capable because she grew up in this type of situation and climate. So
I did like one thing about her plan a lot, which she says, I am not about sharing details on idols and advantages.
Yes, I like that too.
Yeah. She was getting vibes from Kinsey and Tiffany, and I think maybe Hunter. I wasn't 100% sure that's who she was referring to. But unfortunately, none of those people are actually on her tribe.
They asked her what risks she had taken, and she said she moved to the U.S. with a suitcase full of clothes and no money. I've bungee jumped, climbed coconut trees, camped in a freezing desert, and traveled alone. All of the above is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. She got the risk thing down. Some people just did not know. Like Charlie didn't even answer that question, or someone deleted his answer from his bio. But yeah, she's definitely got that going. So she's lived some life. She's definitely experienced some extreme challenges.
She said when she does she doesn't trust easily, but when she does trust someone, that she does it wholeheartedly. And I thought it was so funny because she and her husband sent in a photo together. He's been trying to get on the show.
They applied together a video.
Yeah. And he's been trying to get on for a long time, but then they tried to get on as a couple.
Yeah.
And that's the first time that she had applied, and they called and wanted her and not him.
Yes. She thought that tickled her quite a bit,
She thought it was quite funny. I'm not sure that he did, but she said he's very supportive, and he wants her to go do her best, and he's very supportive. I think she's a real go-getter, and she seems to be physically fit. And her personality, I think she can win a lot of people over and fool them.
I think she can win.
I do
I got
too.
her Final Four. I got her as my USB right now.
Me too. Really?
Yeah.
I told you last night I had her in my Final Four and possible USB.
I don't remember that at all. But
But I know you didn't remember the other one that I said I had 5 last night.
you say a lot
too.
of stuff.
I know.
Talk a lot. Yeah.
Yes. And someone doesn't always listen.
Anything else on
I
Jim?
hear you. Nope. She's our leader right now.
Currently
right
our
now.
winner pick. Yeah.
I didn't know that you were leaning toward her as well. Okay. All right. Next up, Maria. She's 48 from Dallas, Texas, and she's a parent coach. Okay. Her hobbies are
She's got a degree in, was it physical therapy? Is that what it is?
no. She's a doctor.
A doctorate in physical therapy. Is that?
Well, no,
right?
she said she's a doctor of she is a doctor of physical therapy, but she's going to tell people she's a physical therapist, not a
Right.
doctor.
Yeah, and definitely not a parent coach.
So I
Which
don't know
is somewhat-
exactly what that means.
She said in her parade interview that she works with other parents to give them ideas and to help them learn how to be better parents, things like that. So she learned some skills from a therapist, and then she's passing that on to other parents.
Well, and she said that she wasn't going to say the word doctor because they definitely wouldn't want to give her the money then. And she is the oldest.
At 48, she is our oldest castaway this season. Yeah.
Yes. And so I put no merge.
This is the one I said was a mom on vacation because
Okay.
she had a really weird brag, which was I ran a marathon and then I breastfed one of my kids. And the other part of that, or the first part of that brag was I had all my kids at home. I was like, this is a really
no medicine, no
weird flex.
I was like,
that's not the kind
Okay.
of that's not the kind of thing that wins friends and influences people the way you think it does. She also says she dyed her hair, so if she's out there for any amount of time, her hair's going to start turning
Yeah.
gray, and that's going to really backfire on her.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, she trained, did some outdoor skills training. She's been working on puzzles. She says she's intuitive. That's how she ended up meeting her husband.
she has an obsession with untying knots,
Okay.
which at least she could do that in the challenge as well.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. Who knows?
But could she walk away from? If there were extra ones, could she walk away from them and not untie them?
I don't know that it's going to matter because I got her no merge.
Yeah, me too.
I think that mom on vacation is not going to be there long. Even though she's one of the few long-term fans that are on here. She had applied like 20 years ago, she said. Anyway, no merge for Maria. What about for Mariah? What do you got for Mariah?
Mariah is 28 years old from San Diego. She's originally from Florida. She's a program coordinator. Her hobbies are beer
I'll
brewing.
explain that in a minute.
Okay. Beer brewing, surfing, and Dungeons and Dragons. She describes herself as driven, quirky, and sentimental. Her friends tell her she's a go-getter, and she's very personable and fiercely loyal.
This is Aubrey Bracco clone number 2, and she was the only one who mentioned that her and Liz look way too much alike, and she says she'll happily cut Liz if it comes down to that.
Okay.
She works in politics. She works in local politics. So
But she's
that's
not
what
gonna tell that.
That's what the program coordinator thing is referring
Yeah,
to.
she says she's actually more of an IT person for the city. That's what she's going to tell them. She said, which that's true too, but she's not going to tell them about being in politics and that kind of stuff. So she's seems or says she's very resilient and that she's going to use that in the game. But she also said she second guesses herself a lot. And
She said she does not have good balance. That's going to be a detriment for her. She says she is a puzzler. She's all the time doing different kinds of puzzles.
well, that could help and that could keep her in the game. And she said she's very loyal to people she cares about, which also could trip her up in the game.
She's talking about some really pretty lady that she did not think she would get along with, and I think she's talking about Venus.
Probably. But I put no merge for Mariah as well.
No, I got her making the merge.
So that's why I didn't put
Ben.
Yeah.
So I got Ben and Maria. You got Maria and Mariah.
Maria and Mariah. That's enough to want them voted off. So
there you go. Yeah.
Harder to say Maria and Mariah.
Well, and there's probably an excellent chance that they'll scramble the tribes again. So this will be good for, these takes will be good for maybe 4 episodes, and then all bets are off.
Okay, next up, the final member of this tribe is Tim. He's 31. He's from Virginia, but currently living in Atlanta. He's a college coach. I don't get 3 hobbies is dating my wife, watching Survivor and the Peaky Blinders.
Okay, that's a hobby. The first one, no. You didn't understand the the objective here.
Exercising daily, both physically and emotionally.
Emotional exercise, which basically what he qualified that was saying it was with working with his kids.
Okay.
Because that's emotionally challenging. Yeah, sure. Okay. Man, I wanted to like him more.
Yeah, me too. But it was, he came across, I don't know, these are strange answers to me. When I see his video, he seems okay, but... What
was the one about his accomplishment? What's the first one it says on the accomplishment he's most proud of?
Achieving work performance metrics.
Dude, what is wrong with you? That's his son's.
Oh.
I just asked you for the first one. Achieving work performance metrics. This bio is a candy-coated shell. It's hollow. And I could not, as much as I wanted to get behind Tim, I just could not. I'm looking at all these things. There's other ones that leave you scratching your head.
He says he introduced Barack Obama, but he doesn't say where or how.
It was at his school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Obama came to talk, and he got to introduce him.
He just listed a bunch of random things, it seems like.
Well, and it's like he doesn't really get it. My takeaway is this dude's here, but he's not, things aren't clicking for him.
I liked his video. He seems personable.
Yeah.
And I like his, he's out there.
He's got good energy,
He's got a family. He's got a couple sons, and he's out there to, play for his wife and sons.
Could have a great nickname in the game because he's Tim Spicer. He says his nickname is Spice. So he's the Spice Man. But there is something missing. This bio is doing him dirty, or there's something lacking here.
Or I thought maybe he's trying to be funny, and does it read funny?
I actually, the first thing I read was, what past survivor would you play the game most like? And he listed Shamar from Karamoan, which is a guy that was, if he hadn't have been medically evacuated for an eye infection because he got sand in his eye, he would have quit the game. It's just such an awful reference. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? And then you read something else about his history as a kid.
And he had an eye issue. 2
eye issues.
Yeah.
And what are they? One, he jumped off something and he got a hook into his eye. It hooked his ear. It was like, hey, geez. The kind of thing that just really...
cringe.
Yeah, it makes you quiver. But it's like, oh, geez, I can't imagine.
It did make you quiver.
A hook getting caught in your eye. And then in another one, he went to emulate an ant putting eye drops in and actually glued his own eye shut.
Because he put glue instead.
Yeah, instead of actual eye drops. So... yeah, he's
hopefully
a kid.
He was still a child.
Yeah, he was. But
I think that's what he's referring to, maybe even humorously.
Maybe. It's not working, though. I just got no...
Yeah, it was like, I don't know who you are. I don't have a clue. But
work performance metrics? What is wrong with you?
But he did say that he that he was observant of people and their personality and characteristics, and he planned to use that to his advantage, their characteristics. And so, and he seems to be a people person, and knows how to relate to people.
I'm sure he had to have been this close to saying people person in his
I like
bio.
him anyway. I think he could do well in the game.
I think that he will be someone's pawn. This is how I've got him pegged. He's going to be a pawn in the game, and he won't be aware of it. He'll think he's just killing it game-wise, but in reality, I've got him in a Final Four. I think,
really?
Yeah, I do. I think he has that potential, but he'll never know that he's just being dragged along. That I don't see him being a significant factor in the game.
Well, I really want him to do well, and I hope he does. And
Shamar, Jesus, Tim.
Anyway, I have him making the merge.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I definitely got him making the merge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That finishes up that tribe, and we move on to Yanu.
Yeah.
The purple tribe. First up, we have Banu. He's 41. He's from India originally, now living in Massachusetts, an IT quality analyst. You'll have to tell us what that is.
I'm not sure. That it doesn't sound like any of the IT work that I've done.
Okay, his hobbies are dancing, swimming, and yoga. He describes himself as energetic, disciplined, and passionate.
I really liked him. I liked his energy when I got to see his videos and stuff.
Yeah, and
There's a big butt here.
Yeah, he looked very physically fit.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay, yeah, in this tribe. And then he tells us he's dislocated his shoulders like 10 different places.
10 times, and just before coming out, he had surgery on his shoulder.
On his shoulders, right, and I think.
And he's got a bum knee that gives him trouble. So he is the literal busted can of biscuits that Elaine from season 39 described herself as. This guy he physically is a busted can of biscuits. He doesn't sound like he'll be long for the game with that kind of an issue. With your shoulder, the first big immunity challenge has got this giant gecko in it that they've got to move around. He's probably going to wreck his shoulder.
Well, I just put, he has injured shoulders and knees. What is he thinking?
Right.
No merge.
Yeah, I got no merge because he's gonna mess himself up.
Now, what's going to happen is this is just going to be he is healed. He's fine. He's going to go out and do.
Maybe.
And then we're going to go, oh, well. But him saying that, I just went, okay, I'm done. No merge.
Yeah, the physical issues are huge here. He hasn't even tried to climb up the rocks and fell down. He's like broken before he went out there. Add to that, he's like a big Jeff suck-up. That's what I heard in his interviews, and which is always off-putting for me. He's a huge Spencer fan, which means he doesn't really know much history about the game. I understand where that superficially comes from, but yeah, I got no merge for Banu, unfortunately. Even though I really liked him, my first impression was really good, but then I learned these other physical issues, and I thought, wow, this game's going to chew you up.
Well, and, they're doing a lot of really physical challenges.
Even the first one.
The first immunity challenge, we saw a picture of that great big, what was it, a gecko or something?
Yes.
And he was using his right shoulder.
Which is damaged.
Which is the one he just had surgery on.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why would you put yourself on that side? Why wouldn't you use your other shoulder?
And just how it came about.
Yeah.
Because Q grabbed the other side where he needed to be.
Well, maybe he's not telling that he has.
I wouldn't, would you? Jeez.
Well, no, but they might find out sooner than later if he continues to do that. So, okay.
Yeah, he's a possible first out candidate. He could get hurt in the first episode.
Moving on, I guess he wants to be called Jelinski.
Yeah, he says there's too many Davids in there, and you don't even have a good history with Davids in Survivor. So he doesn't want to be part of the Davids.
Okay, Jelinski is 22 years old, though he looks older to me.
He does. In his face, he definitely looks like I think it might be because he's seen some things. But yeah.
He's from Las Vegas, still lives in Las Vegas, and he is a slot machine salesman.
He had a Survivor slot machine that he repaired that he's got in his room.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's also a student. He's going back to school.
To be...
What do you call it when you're going to be in the hotel? I forget what that degree's
the
called.
hotel industry, I don't know.
Yeah, there's anyway, I can't think of it. Yeah, it was like 2 different degrees he was pursuing. So...
Okay. All right. His hobbies are sports. Says he plays basketball and does bowling. He does trivia and puzzles, magic card games, and he's good at organization. Okay.
This is our Drew clone from last season with plenty of arrogance built in. Self-identified, but...
You throw me off when you do that.
What?
I'm trying to remember what was Drew like last season. I'm on this season.
Okay.
Stop taking me back to last night.
All right.
Okay. His friends describe him. They say he thinks he knows everything. He is too smart for his own good, a hothead, and would argue with you until you gave in and told him he was right. But he says he's matured now.
Yeah, at the ripe old age of 22, he's got it locked down. I don't believe you, dude.
He said now he always lends an ear and has an open heart when you need it, and he always offers the best advice he can. Okay.
See what happens when you haven't eaten in days.
Yeah, exactly.
Not sleeping. You know what was interesting? He targeted Banu. He said he was describing Banu. He didn't know his name, obviously, but he looked at him and he said, this one's malleable. I can work with him.
Oh, well, he might want to keep him around then.
Maybe,
That could change our no merge for Banu. Who knows?
He also mentioned that he was looking to ally with Q. He saw lots of potential in Q. So, and it turns out they're all on a tribe together. So
yeah,
that part worked to his advantage.
Well, and that could make a huge difference.
He's originally a Big Brother fan, and then he found Survivor during the pandemic and realized how much more complex, how superior of a game Survivor was to Big Brother. And so he's been enthralled with it since then.
Well, and when he was a kid, he did ballroom dancing for a couple of years and said he was offered a ballet scholarship.
Yeah, then he had a growth spurt. He grew to be over 6 feet tall, and things changed for him. Yeah.
And he also is a huge Swiftie.
Yeah, he's a big Swiftie. He's also a fan of Hayden. Do you remember Hayden from Blood vs. Water? Yeah. I think Hunter was a big Hayden fan. Those are odd references.
Hayden and Cat, right?
Yeah, that wackadoodle cat, yes.
Don't be unkind to Cat.
She's special, and she loved her cousin quite a bit.
Yeah, well, dude, quit bringing up the other...
No history for you today? Okay.
No. I'm trying to stay focused on remembering these people. Mm-hmm. Okay, he says he is incredibly perceptive and observant and very self-aware.
And extremely arrogant. So do with that what you will. Yeah, okay. We all thought we were at 22. I don't think that's really there for him. Well, but we'll see. I'm surprise us.
Putting him merge because of his size and hopeful physicality.
Yeah, I got him no merge.
If he can do well in challenges.
I got him and Banu no merge.
I could see that.
I've got 3 no merges on this tribe, so we'll see.
I can see more than that, actually.
There's something about the timbre, the tone of his voice, which is way deeper than mine.
Way deeper.
And it is, there's something about it, though, that seems odd. It really, it's off-putting to me somehow. I don't know why, but it is.
It's very different from what you would think.
It sounds affected.
So
you don't expect
deep.
That sound to come out of him,
but I don't
know
how he could. It seems like that's his vocals.
Yeah.
So, okay. Up next, we disagree on that one. We have Jess. She's 37. She's originally from Hong Kong and Toronto, now living in San Francisco.
Maybe that counts as a second Canadian. kind of. I don't know.
Well,
Hong Kong, then
she's
Toronto.
not living there now.
Right.
But, okay.
Yeah.
She is a software engineer. She sews her own clothes and she bikes around San Francisco. And
Her husband is obsessed with Survivor. That's
Yes,
kind of how we got here. She has an identical twin. And it
She does.
sounds like the small startup she's working at as a software engineer, it sounds like they're doing some work with large language models. So that was interesting.
you know, I liked so much about her. Like, this is the one that last night I had in like a final five situation,
Okay.
trying to decide. And this morning, I've got her as first off.
She could definitely be first off.
I just, after I watched, no, it was the interview of her, I think that changed my mind.
Yeah, it's like you don't feel her clicking with people.
Yeah, and I thought she would. I thought she'd come across maybe not as good right at first, but I really thought she had a lot going for her. She's accomplished an awful lot. Then she says that in her interview, there was just a whole lot of other stuff that came out, and that she was ADHD. She couldn't finish. She couldn't finish things. She'd only get 80% through, and then she couldn't stand it. She'd have to go out on the internet and see how the show ended, or see how something. She didn't have the patience.
Wonder how that impacts her sewing.
Oh, well, I was wondering how it would impact her Survivor game.
Yeah.
Is that, okay, I'm bored with this now. It's time to move on.
She was drawn in the pregame to Kinsey. Kinsey was doing embroidery, and she
That
thought
kind of clinched it.
the sewing in common. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I totally did a flip on that. So,
She really identified with Gabby. Do you remember the crier, Gabby? She was there with
Yeah.
you, Becky.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
well, that's why she thought she could go on, because it was okay to cry. Mm-hmm. And that if Gabby could do it, she could do it. So, I guess that would mean I have too many no merges if I put her no merge.
Well, you just shuffle one. Because I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I need to shuffle away from... As we were talking, I was like, maybe I need to shuffle away from Jelinski and put that on Jess. Because I've been really hard thinking she's the first off candidate there. And it didn't occur to me initially. It was just something I've been thinking as we were prepping to get ready this morning.
Yeah.
I think I'll do that. I think I'll move that from Jelinski to Jess.
I don't know who I'm going to shift, but I got to shift somebody, don't I?
Well, if you're going to stick with the 7, sometimes you opt not to even do a whole 7.
That's true. I do what I want, I guess.
Anything else on Jess?
No, I don't think so. I'm going
We've
to...
raked her over the grill enough for now.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking maybe Liz might do better than I think. And so I might flip the Liz and Jess.
Could be.
So,
All right, next up, we got Kinsey. She's 29, originally from Michigan. Now she's in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's a salon owner, hairstylist.
She likes jigsaw puzzles, fantasy romance novels, and playing cards. She said she's positive, creative, and perseverant, and that she can get people to do anything she wants.
The more I got from her, the less I liked her.
Yep.
That's what that story was.
And I put no merge.
I got her making the merge, but that she's just swung the pendulum so far in some of her views that my dislike of her grew immensely.
Well, she says that she doesn't want people to know she's smart, and that she definitely uses her good looks to get men to do things for her.
Yep.
And that she never says no to things so that means she's very impulsive.
I think she was a recruit, another pandemic fan.
Yeah.
She says she's another huge Carolyn fan. So for all the Carolyn folks out there, she'll have connections with other people in the cast because of that.
She says she comes across as a little flaky and like an airhead, but she's not. But I thought, okay, well, she didn't convince me of that.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So anyway,
She
put
said
no merge.
Maria did not smile at her. She didn't. She wasn't getting good vibes from Maria because of that on the Sega tribe. And she also said Randon, not a smiler. Saw no connection with him.
He has such a nice smile in his video.
Not for Kinsey, he didn't.
Well, his wife will be happy to know he wasn't smiling at Kinsey,
Okay.
I guess. And there's something wrong with him that he wouldn't smile at her.
Well, maybe he just got a bad vibe from her. Maybe he was thinking something else. Who knows? We all read things into those kind of situations.
Well, according to her, men do things for her if she even suggests she needs something done. So
yeah, I'm like actively cheering against Kinsey at this point.
yeah. Okay, so and we may be completely off base. So
Sure.
But enough about Kinsey. We're on to Q, who is 29. He's the other Mississippi guy. But he is now living in Memphis, Tennessee, and he's a real estate agent.
Man, he is just this. Q is this huge question mark to me. If what he's saying is true, and real estate folks sometimes overrepresent themselves.
Well, he said he got $11 million offer on the 47 properties that he owns.
So why is Q
But he turned
here?
it down.
He's not even the fan. His wife is the super fan. I don't get
Because he turned it
him
down.
at
He
all.
doesn't have the money.
Well, and you would turn it down potentially because, yeah, he doesn't have it, but I would think the reason he turned it down is because he thought he could get more.
His hobbies are fishing, riding four-wheelers and jet skis, and building houses.
Says he wouldn't throw a challenge. He's going to tell him he's a coach.
He describes himself as brave, polite, and proud.
A perception thing he did that I really liked was that he saw a couple of women with the same flowers in their hair. He said, I'm going to watch this because something's up if this spreads. And sure enough, he said the next day a third woman had the same kind of flower in her hair.
Ooh.
So he thought somehow they were making a connection.
Maybe.
Nonverbal signaling with the flowers in the hair.
His friends described him as the crazy risk-taking friend.
He spotted Hunter as a fellow Mississippian.
Yes, he did. But he said his friends would describe him as somebody they could count on. He was one of 17 kids in the family.
Wow.
So he said if you didn't get up early,
Mississippi.
you might not
Yeah.
get any breakfast.
Yeah. Good on you, Q. Man, you have certainly done well. I have no idea why you're on my TV screen. But you're going to be an asset to your tribe, it looks like. He's certainly going to be sort of the physical element they build around.
He's the first person in his entire family to graduate college. And he can eat 2 boxes of pizza in one sitting by himself.
Now, that's the kind of brag I totally understand. Yeah.
And he says he can swim and that I'm a joy to be around is what people tell me.
Yeah. You had a good energy.
Yeah, he had a great energy.
Yeah.
And he didn't list a certain person that he would play like that person. He said, bits and pieces from a lot of players. The better answer.
It's the best answer that you could give. I mean, you're you. You're not Tony. You're not Parvati. We've never seen another Parvati. So,
He doesn't want the other players to know that he's financially well off. And
got his cover story ready. Going to tell him he's a coach, which
he says
some
he's
truth in.
likable, does well with people. I put definitely merge.
Yeah.
And I would like to see him go deep. But I didn't put him in Final Four because I thought...
I did.
I didn't because I thought they are going to want him out of there.
It's different now.
He's the biggest physical threat.
It's different.
Well, that's true because...
how the game gets played. You never know. It's all relative to how the people in that season want to play. But there's potential for him to make it.
Was it Hunter, maybe, that somebody was talking about having other strong people around them? If I could see him going in that case.
Sure.
Say Hunter and Randon and they pull in the other strong guys after the merge.
He ends up making it and Hunter didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see where you're coming from. I do like him.
Yeah, me too.
And I think he's going to be charismatic. So I think for that tribe, he's really the one to watch.
Yeah. They'll build that around him until they're not that tribe anymore.
Yeah. And so we definitely both have him making the merge for sure.
Yep.
Okay, Tiffany.
Age 33, originally from New Jersey, still in New Jersey. Just different towns.
She is telling everyone she's an artist. She is more than an artist.
Well,
but
yeah, she
doesn't
gave
want
one of
them
those
to know.
classic kind of answers. She's hustling, doing all kinds of things.
Yes, and she's interviewed on the red carpet, and she's done, producing videos and all different kinds of things.
Yeah.
But she's just going to say, oh, she does, painting and
Murals,
photography
yeah.
and that kind of stuff. And does eating out count as a hobby?
Sure.
Well, that's what she
Experiencing different restaurants. Yeah, I get that in a way. She seemed to be having trouble with the outdoors.
Well, here's the thing. When they asked her how her friends describe her, she said, my friends always tell me that I live in a land of rainbows and unicorns, which pretty much means I lack situational awareness sometimes and see things from through rose-colored lenses when I shouldn't. I disagree, though. I'm a habitual procrastinator. My friends also know that I'm deeply dedicated to and passionate about the things and people I love. I have absolutely no filter, and sometimes this gets me into trouble.
Translation, she was cast to be a character, make
Yep.
TV moments.
She said, I'm usually the life of the party. So I put no merge, but
Also no merge.
I could see how she could. I mean,
With the right alliance, anyone
Yes.
can get by, even
Yes,
someone that would surprise
absolutely.
you. So you never know. But with her struggling before the season begins, being outside, that you could see her reacting.
She didn't like the bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, something's in my
Yeah, she's gonna have a hard time. I think she's gonna be ready to go, and she's not there. I think
Well,
she
but
was. Also, think she was a recruit, and so her will to tough it out is gonna go pretty quick.
Remember, Cerie didn't like leaves.
Yeah, I don't think she's Cerie though.
No, I don't either.
She did spot Q early and see him as someone she wanted to work with, and she ended up on the same tribe as him. So who knows? Maybe they'll put something together, get some momentum.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about him? I think.
Nope. Moving on. First out. Who do you think's going to be first out?
I'm putting Jess.
I could see that. There's easy first out candidates on each tribe. I went with Soda because I'm not sure the Nami tribe has got someone that can really do the puzzles. It's not clear to me that they've got the puzzling ability. And so I ended up, after thinking that they were the strongest tribe, I came back to the puzzle may get them, assuming there's a puzzle at the end. I don't know that for sure, but since there usually is, that they're going to come up short for puzzling, and Soda's going to go. But if Siga loses, then I see Maria going, and if Yano loses, I see Jess going. Unless it's like flip a coin between Jess and Banu, because Banu could very well re-injure his shoulder or his knee.
Yeah.
The extreme nature of that challenge, the heavy weights they're dealing with, and all that.
Well,
Final four? Or did you give your... Yeah, you gave your first out as Jess, right?
I am giving relisting my no merge choices, which are Jess, Soda, Maria, Mariah, Banu, Kinsey, and Tiffany.
Okay.
So I switched Jess and Liz. I had Liz in there to start with. My top four are Hunter, Randon, Venus, and Jim.
Wow, so you see that group from the Nami tribe sticking together, huh?
I don't know.
Be like the Red tribe last season, that they win so much that they are and continue to be in majorities.
And right now I'm leaning toward Jim as my USB.
Yep, my final four is Randon, Jim, Tim, and Q, with Jim pulling it out with the win. Definitely was drawn to Jim initially. We'll see. I'm sure there's more to learn.
Always.
Anything else you want to say there?
No.
So just some background on season 46. It started a couple of weeks after 45, and CBS had not guaranteed that they would get 90-minute episodes. Only for the 45 season did they have that. So they had to film with that in mind, and they didn't know until after 45 had aired that these were going to be 90-minute episodes. So that affected how they filmed, but they did have it in mind. And so there's going to be multi-stage advantages and idols, things like that, with a ticking clock. in terms of some of the things will expire, just like we saw last season. The first 2 episodes will be 2 hours long.
Yay!
Yeah, and then they'll settle into the 90-minute episodes for the rest of the season. Anything else you
No,
have?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we want to give a big thanks to Paul for the roster and the JSFL website logo and the photos. Thanks, Paul. We appreciate all of that. That was an awesome job as always. And I mean, I don't know how I would have even gotten through this without using the roster.
Yep. Definitely
I don't
something
think
we
I would have
lean
made
on.
it without it. So thank you, Paul. And we'll include a link to that in the show notes on our website at getsfp.com. Also, big thanks to Steve for creating and maintaining the JSFL website. You can now register to play JSFL for season 46. If you were not playing at the end of season 45, you need to register. If you were still playing then, all of your information will be the same. But you must be registered to play before the deadline of 7:30 Eastern or 4:30 Pacific time on February 28th in order to play in JSFL for season 46. Registration will close at that time.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come join us. It's fun. It puts a different twist on it. You got something invested in each episode.
Absolutely.
Trying to figure out who's going to be safe, who's going to get voted out. So the qualifier I'll add there is that if you're into spoilers, this isn't the game for you, and that's cool. You know, you, do your spoilery thing, but we don't want people who are into spoilers in playing JSFL. So just keep that in mind, please.
Okay, and last but not least, thanks to Jeremiah for maintaining the Survivor Fans Podcast fans page on Facebook.
Yeah.
Good job, Jeremiah.
Thanks for being the shepherd. JABBIC Part 2 feedback. We'd love to have you come be a part of Part 2. Share your thoughts and predictions about Season 46 before it kicks off and how you're looking at these different castaways. Give us some more ideas.
See if you can change our mind.
Yeah, it's due noon Saturday, February 24th. We ask that you keep your feedback in that 3-minute range so we can get everybody in. Voicemail line 206-350-1547. Toll free 844-643-8737. We can't wait to hear what you think about this new cast and how things are going to play out. If you want to be in the side challenge with me, this is the side challenge associated with
No, thank you.
with JSFL where you get to sing a song for us if you lose, then send us an email before the first show airs on the East Coast on February 28th.
Not just sing a song, you got to create it.
Yeah, come up with the
whole
lyrics.
Parody.
Yeah, so send us an email to joannastacyshow@gmail.com. The song that Jeremiah chose from last season, which
is very interesting with the players in this season.
Yeah, that we're waiting on is Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift, and Parker's putting together a parody of that. And Parker, that's due noon next Saturday. We look forward to hearing what you've prepared for us. He's done an awesome job in the past with songs.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we certainly love to have everybody take part in the JSFL, and if you're up for that extra challenge, for some folks, it's just way too much.
Too stressful.
Too stressful.
That would put me over the edge. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. All right. Excited for season 46. Looking forward to hearing from you. Anything else?
No, I think we've covered it to the best of our ability. So
have a good one.